Hi, I'm Stu. Welcome back to another LumaFusion video tutorial. In this particular lesson, I'm going to show you a cool little way of editing to the beat and using what I call beat markers. You can see them here, 1 through 6, to actually rough out your edit. So let's get started. Okay, if we just do a quick project check, I am basically going to be doing a frame rate of 24 frames per second. Aspect ratio is 16:9. Color space is 10-bit. Now, I might tweak the aspect ratio and go for a US widescreen of 1.85 to 1, just to see how that looks. That's purely a stylistic choice. And the other thing that we need to do is go into our preferences, and for this technique to work effectively, because we now have track height, take your track height from the default medium and raise it up to extra large. That then allows you to see all the different waveforms and beats, which is what we need. So I've got a musical clip that I've generated in producer.ai, which I believe is now owned by Google, and it's 3 minutes long. But realistically, because we're doing a sort of trailer style edit, we're just going to be using the first sort of 50 seconds, minute or so. But we'll see how it goes. So I've got my Dust and Glory soundtrack on the first layer below the main timeline. And by the time you're watching this video tutorial, I'll have up on my site a free download for the beat markers as well as the music, so you can follow along. Now, purely for the purposes of this tutorial and so that you can hear me, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to set the music to primary, and I'm just going to lower the overall track gain down to about -18, and that's just so that you can hear me blather away. And if need be, I can crank it back up for specific marking. So I'm pinching and zooming in. Because we've got the track height larger, we can see the waveforms an awful lot better. And when it comes to dropping either a marker or these beat markers, which I tend to use one or both, then what you're wanting to do is work to the left-hand side line of your playhead, which is the white bar. If you zoom out, it's still the left, but I find it better once it goes to this white point. And then what you want to do is select the first frame where just prior to the actual waveform coming up for the actual beat being applied. That's close enough detail where doing a cut is not going to make much difference, and I'll demonstrate that in a second or two. So what you're going to do is, I've numbered these 1 through 6. I've coloured them the same as the colours tags, just roughly. Not exact, but you get the idea. And then we're going to start with number 1, work our way through 6, and then you're just going to rinse and repeat 1 through 6, and it's just basically dividing things up. So just get your playhead aligned. Now you could effectively work to here, but you see how there's just a little bit of that waveform kind of cut off. So if we place it here, yes, we've come just before, but it's probably negligibly far enough away that you'll not notice the actual cut. But let's try both. So I'm going to drag and drop beat 1 down, and that's dropped it at the beginning purely because of the fact that we've got the timeline the way we've got it. So what I'm going to do is set that to insert. Just tap on the little arrow and then it'll not magnetically snap. And we can go to the first beat and drop our graphic, and you'll see when I play it through, the cut's absolutely fine. If I tightened it up a bit, take it just to the edge, so we're missing the first little bit, it still works absolutely fine, but in some instances when it's a very sharp waveform, you might lose a bit of the information. So it's up to you whether you go slightly before or just slightly into the actual beat itself. We'll leave it as it is just now. So what I'm going to do is play it through further. We'll just increase the volume again. So that little spike there is our next beat. So what we want to do is, we want to take the back end of the number 1 beat marker and just bring it in. You can pinch and zoom in. You see how one frame over is too much, whereas one frame before is just at the start of the beat. And then at this point, we can bring in beat marker 2, let it magnetically connect to the back, and we can just watch and see if the beat actually works. And it does. And this is a great way for roughing out your pacing. Let me put that in there. Drop in number 3, and then you'll see there's the beat there. 2 beats in succession, and you'll see them just before the peak of the actual beat itself. And we'll drop in number 4. So once you get the hang of this, it's actually quite quick and easy to rough out your music. And then we go to there. Now, is that too far? It's starting to edge into the beat, but let's have a look. If you're not sure, bring down number 5 and you'll be able to see frame before and the video frame after. That's okay, that works. And we just pinch and zoom out. There's our other beat there. So we just drag that along. And as I say, as you get practiced at this, it's a quick and easy way of just basically working out the pacing. So if you can see a consistency in the actual beats, then that means you're definitely running to the actual beat itself. Now you could skip a beat if you wanted. You don't have to hit every major beat, and place that there. And then once you get to 6, just go back to 1. I'll just stretch that out a little bit. That worked. And you just do this as long as you need to be adding in footage. So the main music kicks in here. So I'll probably start from this point, stretch that out there, and then I'll add in number 2 at the back end. See how the cut looks. Yep. At this point, we can go in and drop a marker. So that's M if you're using your keyboard, and you can match up the colouring and basically say beat drop, and that's onto there. There we go. So major points in the actual track, I'm going to drop a beat marker and have an actual marker as well on the actual timeline. But remember that markers on the timeline, literally you are marking up the 23.21, so 23 seconds and 21 frames. And if you do any cuts or changes, that marker is going to stay at 23:21, and your footage itself might actually move. So just be aware of that as well. And this is why we work with these beat markers, because these move with your footage, not with the timeline. Now that I've laid out 8 cuts effectively, what we can do is we can switch this back to normal. That'll generate a blank clip at the beginning, and we can add our footage in. There's 2 ways to do this. You can either take your footage and just place it over the top and then slide up and make it fit. Or you can go further in and just overlay it onto the actual numbered clip, and then use new clip duration or keep timeline duration. You want to do the timeline duration. I'm not so sure about that one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out the first one. You get the idea. For example, I could go for a wide shot. Yeah, that works. So I'll take that into there. And then we can go into the gain and the volume and just adjust both clips, taking out the automated audio that Google Flow have added in. I want to also, I can do Option P, and down at the bottom here, I've got a slight scaling for the fact that the VO watermark is in the bottom right hand side. That just crops in ever so slightly. Do the same here. There we go. We'll add our gunslinger in here and just crop the back end. So you place your clips either above or replace the actual numbers, whatever you want to do. What I'm going to do now is just move these down. So my advice would be when you're applying a clip, for example, so look, running out of clips here, that shot there, and we're dropping it there. Once you've got it locked, and I'll just mute that, go down, view scale, there we go. Once you've got the clip locked and you're quite happy with it, then at that point you can just drag it down and replace the numbers. So if we watch the sequence, again, I'm just going to go in and add view scale. And we'll put the final clip in, keep timeline duration, select the clip, option P, hit the track, and then press view scale, and you'll see everything snapping to the beat. So let's see if I'll get anything else in the way of footage. Not really. I'll put that clip back in. Again, just drag it down, keep timeline duration, boom, it's in. And then we just do option P, go to the audio side of things. I've got a preset for a mute, and then go to the scaling and VO scale. And that just scales it in far enough. So there we go. If you then want to fine tune in the edit where you are, you can slip the edit and then just reposition things. So we could slide it to there, tap away. Again, we've missed the view on this. We just go in there, make sure we're muted, which I think we were. He's needing his VO scaling done. You see how fast this can be. There you go. That's how I use beat markers to rough out my edits when it comes to timing to music. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps the channel to grow, and it's much appreciated. I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.